What's up, everyone, and welcome to From the Lions Cove podcast. I'm your host, Marcelo. This is the 10th episode, so pretty good. Sorry I missed last week's episode, but we have a pretty special guest here, Ella Barth. Welcome to the podcast, Ella.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
So, sorry about last week. Had 4 exams, so now we're back today. Should be a pretty good episode. We have a great athlete right here and just a great person. I've known Ella since the 6th grade, so a long time, and it's been pretty cool to see her journey throughout soccer as well as school. So, thank you for joining the podcast today.
Thanks for having me.
So, Ella in high school was a 4-year letter winner and was first team 2020. Then she committed to BW for soccer. In 2021, she appeared in 19 games, made 16 starts, took 27 shots with 13 on goal. She had a 1-game winner as well, earned her first varsity letter. In 2022, All-Ohio Athletic Conference 3rd team, All-Ohio Athletic Conference selection for the academics, and then Ohio Collegiate Soccer Association 3rd team selection, took 13 shots with 7 on goal. 2023 College Sports Communicators Academic All-District team selection, took 20 shots with 12 on goal, earned 3rd varsity letter as well. And then 2024, hands down, probably her best year yet. I mean, All-Ohio Athletic Conference first team selection, appeared and started in 20 games, led the team and tied for 6th in the OAC with a career high of 8 goals, led the team, tied for 4th on team with 2 assists, led the team and tied for 8th in the OAC with a career high of 18 points, 3rd on the team with a career high of 38 shots. So, I mean, Ella has the whole resume. I mean, you can just see her growth from freshman year to senior year. So I'm very excited to go over these questions with you. So overall, what got you into soccer, and who were your biggest influences growing up?
I kind of got into soccer by default. I grew up in Euclid, and during that time, there wasn't really like sports for girls at the time. I actually got into ice hockey for a little bit.
No way.
Yeah, which I played on a co-ed team, so it was just a bunch of boys. Played softball, and then soccer was something that I stuck with, and I really liked just running around in circles, so that's what I stuck with. And then when we moved, I kind of just got into club, and that's what I dedicated my time to. And I wouldn't say that there was any influences at the time, but my parents were definitely very supportive and definitely put a lot of time and energy into getting me through those different games, practices, tournaments, all that kind of stuff. So.
Wow.
Nice.
So were there any other sports that you considered, or was soccer always your kind of focus as time went on?
I liked running. I realized I kind of got nervous when it came to track and cross country though. I'd rather run with a ball at my feet. I think I realized later on.
Yeah.
And I did what made me the most happy and least nervous at the time, so that's kind of what I stuck with.
Wow.
Yeah.
Great. So can you share a memory of when you realized that you had a real talent or passion for the game?
Gosh, I don't think there's a concrete one, but I would say definitely going into the club level of playing. I had a fantastic coach, Coach Mack, for the Cleveland Cobras, and I started about 8 years old. And that group of girls, we did a ton with what we had, truly. And I still competed against some of them now in college, which is really cool.
Wow.
So I think meeting him, he really challenged me, and he just had that old traditional type of way of doing things, pushed you, yelled at you, kind of didn't really hold your hand, but forced you to challenge yourself. So I would say definitely advancing to that club level is what kind of gave me that push to want to go further on with my career.
Wow. So what kind of was the difference between club and then playing in high school?
You just get a more level talent field, I'd say. Club is just super competitive. In high school, you kind of get whoever goes to that school, so there's nobody really paying to play, or a lot of times they just play for fun. A lot of people even start soccer in high school, so you get a lot more even competition, I'd say, in club, and you face some really tough teams, and then you're also traveling a lot too, so you're seeing teams from other states and other clubs that have 10, 20 teams, so it can get really competitive.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, did you have to travel, I guess, a lot for, these club teams, or was it more kind of, local tournaments, or?
Yeah, I'd say a lot of it stayed within Ohio. We did a lot of trips to Lodi, which was a good hour. Love Lodi. Those conditions got real nice. We did a lot of indoor games at Spire, So
Wow.
not too far, but when it came to like state tournaments, regional, national, we're going across the country.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
So
It was
what's
a lot.
so what's like the coolest place that like you've like been to?
Colorado.
Really?
Yeah. My senior year, we went to the national tournament
Wow.
that summer,
Oh
and
yeah.
that was our third time going. It was third time's a charm. We ended up winning the whole thing, which was amazing.
Wow.
But yeah, we played in high altitude. It was really tough. And
Yeah,
it was
that's
hot.
insane.
It was hot and it was really tough, but we pulled through and it was awesome.
So like how many teams like were in that? Like if it was like national?
I'm not sure. I don't know how big the brackets were. I think we played maybe 5 or 6 games total
Okay.
across a week, which was a lot. But I know the team that we ended up winning was against in the final was from California, and they had about 15 age groups in that tournament, and we had one.
Wow.
So we were kind of the underdog in this situation.
Jeez.
Yeah, we kind of just went. But the thing is, like, you get a team with good chemistry, and you're outplaying pretty much any team that has raw talent. So
Right.
it was really cool. Yeah.
Wow. So did you play that all the way until like your senior year?
Yeah, club ended all the way until my senior year summer, and then started college.
Wow. So
Yeah.
then when you played at Mayfield junior season, you had a great team.
Uh-huh.
So what was kind of like a standout from your high school career, like playing for Mayfield?
I think it really gave me a good idea of what it was going to be like to play in college, and I think it also pushed me to want to play in college. Especially my freshman year, we had a great set of seniors that were just on you at all times, really set a standard. And I think that helped me also develop my leadership going into college and into my later years in high school. And I'm really appreciative for it, I would say. So definitely sort of understanding how also teams grow over time in college. You know, you're graduating people every year, you're getting new people in every year. That's kind of how it is in high school. So you see some good players go, but then you also get to see other players come in and get developed over the years and see how the teams kind of vary over that time.
Wow.
Which is nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, did you guys make it to like districts or like
districts?
states?
Yeah, we made to districts. I think we were all district my freshman and junior year.
Wow.
Yeah. It was really cool.
So yeah, I mean, you played with a lot of good talent. So,
Mhm.
you know, did you play against any like good talent, like any like girls that went D1 or kind of like the big name schools?
I know Walsh was a big one. I think we played my either freshman or junior year during one of those big tournaments. They were fantastic, but they were also recruiting people in high school. So yeah, they had some girls go D1. I know that. And then there's also some girls like at West Geauga who now we play against. Now we play against in the OAC. So
Really?
Yeah, the twins from West Geauga.
Oh wow.
They played Otterbein now. So we played club together. And then we played against each other in high school, and then we played against each other in college.
Crazy.
So.
Did you like take like pictures with them after like every game?
We're best friends after the fact, but during the game it's a little high tension for sure. It's funny how that works.
Wow, crazy. So what was the recruiting process like for you, and overall, how did you decide on BW?
It was not ideal with the recruiting process just because COVID really hit my year tough. Usually for recruiting, you start maybe 1 or 2 years before you're even graduating.
Yeah.
And with COVID, a lot of schools extended their eligibility year. A lot of them got a COVID year, so they weren't recruiting for 2021.
Wow.
Which affected me because nobody wanted to take me in. So I even thought about taking a gap year at the time. But I actually met my coach now at BW through club. He was good friends with my club coach.
Yeah.
And ever since a young age, he would come every year and do a workshop about how college recruitment works and all this stuff. And like I knew of him, I'd met him before. I thought he was so scary at the time. And when I didn't really have any options, I thought might as well just check out some D3 schools in the area. And that really took for me. I fell in love with the campus first time I was there, and I knew that the academics would be great. I want to go into the medical field, so the Cleveland Clinic, the Browns facility being right there was just such a perfect location. So that's kind of what sold me on it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you kind of mentioned like the Browns. Like, were you able to work like any of like the like practices or any of like the stuff like that? I
personally haven't. A lot of that's through sports management.
Oh, okay.
So I know I have a lot of friends that do go work the games every Sunday, but.
Wow.
I mean, they're right there, so you see a lot of traffic come through that are just going to some like the preseason workouts and because it's right there. I know our football team too will also work out in the facility in the winter. So
Wow,
that's really cool.
That is so awesome.
Yeah.
So, did you have any like virtual like interviews, or was it always in person? Like, I guess when you toured like BW, because I know like me, for example, I had a lot of virtual interviews like through like touring like facilities, and it was just like, all right, like, this is just so different.
Yeah, I got to go in the fall of my senior year to actually tour the campus with my coach. Actually, just led me through a tour of the campus, which was really cool.
Yeah.
And I was able to I wasn't able to go in the buildings, but I was able to see them, so that was something. And then through the team and everything, meeting with the team that was there at the time, I got to do virtual visits with them. But there was no overnights, there was no staying.
Wow.
They actually didn't even play that fall season. They played in the spring.
No way.
They didn't even have a fall season. So they were basically quarantined that whole time. They were online, virtual through school. And then in the spring, they played a season, had the summer off, and then played in the fall. So that was quite a bit, yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
So, going back to your freshman year through senior season, I mean, you've improved each season. I mean, we can just see it. And what has like driven that growth? And are there specific skills or areas of your game that you've worked on the most?
Yeah, it's been a wild ride through BW with my playing specifically. I went in looking to play as a midfielder and pretty much played every position but that for the first maybe 2 or 3 years. My sophomore year, I played strictly outside defender, which I'd never played in my whole life, but did well. So, and then freshman year, I played more of an attacking position, and I kind of trusted the process. My coach, I kind of let him have reign of where he thought I would play best given the players that we have on the field. And I was, at the time, maybe not the happiest with it, but I am grateful that he gave me the opportunity to try different things because I was able to figure out what worked best. And I knew that it was not just for me as a player, but for the team as a whole, how I can impact it the best. And I think that's what kind of led to the build-up of me playing my senior year. I got to play a position that I was meant to play the whole time, and at first I wouldn't have wanted to play that, but we had the personnel finally where I didn't have to play a more defensive position, but I could go up and score some goals for the team. So that was really cool. Yeah. Yeah.
So like kind of going back to like your freshman year, like do you remember like your first time playing in like a college game? Like what did that like feel like?
It was weird. It was scary, I would say, for sure. I definitely think though that freshman year of high school was a lot more stressful.
Really?
I feel like I had a lot more expectations for myself, and those people, those older seniors were really pushing me to get there. So that when I got to college, I was kind of like, okay, I'm cool, calm, collected. I know I've been here before. There's no need to mess up because I'm too nervous, so I feel like that helped me be more comfortable getting into college and getting on the field my freshman year into college.
Wow, that's actually crazy.
Yeah.
Usually it's like, okay,
I know.
like freshman year, it's like, wow, this is scary.
Because it's hard to see a lot of good freshmen with talent come in and they just crumble under the pressure. So, and that's because a lot of times they've never really been challenged before. They're coming from a place where they play 90 minutes and they're used to just like being thrown out there and get to do whatever, but having more of a set thing. Like in college, we work a lot more in formations than I've ever had in my whole life. Like in club and high school, it was go out there and do your job. But now it's like under this circumstance, you have to do this. And then under this, you have to do this. So there's a lot more thinking involved, I feel like. So a lot of times it can be stressful on certain people. But I also, I think doing that through high school really helped me in college. Kind of step on the field and get going.
Yeah. See, like I've only played soccer once. So it was in like the 3rd grade. No, I think it was like way before that. But I'd always cry because you're supposed to like move like the ball around, but like I didn't know like how to like play, and I'd never get the ball, and I'd just start crying, and then I was like, all right, like maybe
stupid.
Yeah, but like my sister played it like a few years, but I mean I guess with like soccer, I guess what's like the like biggest challenge like of playing like the game? Is it just like the constant like running, or just like I don't really know.
Yeah, I think it's definitely more mental than physical. You could go in with be the most in shape person out there and still not play a good game. I think having that mental aspect, having that soccer IQ, they call it, just knowing what to do when you get the ball is the most important. Playing the smartest pass, the smartest ball, and a lot of times that just comes from watching. watching film, watching the women's national team, watching past film from the year before. And that's something I personally enjoy doing. I know a lot of people don't. They have to force themselves to, but just understanding where your spatial awareness and then where you need to go next with the ball at the smartest point. So I think a lot of times it's the mental aspect more than the physical.
Yeah, no, definitely more like mental too. I mean, like you watch some of these like big games, like
Yeah.
I mean, they're under a ton of pressure, and also too, just like the shins, like the legs are just beat up.
Yeah, yeah, it's a lot.
It is. So as a senior, how have you taken a leadership role within the team, both on and off the field?
My leadership position actually started last year. I wouldn't say it's as strong as it is this year because I was a junior with 3 other seniors with 4 captains.
Yeah.
But that was also the first year we ever did captains.
Really?
Yeah. Like the entire time my coach has been there, I think it's around 7 years, they haven't had captains.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was a huge moment, and I think we really needed it. I think I could see the idea of wanting everyone to have a leadership role in some way, but it was nice to have individuals that you could have like a bridge between the team and the coaches, because a lot of times that disconnect can take advantage of things. So it was a learning curve for sure.
Yeah.
But I think especially with this year, we had 17 freshmen come in. 17? Which is nearly half our team.
No way.
Yeah, we had a lot of new people, a ton. So making sure that they knew what was happening, making sure they were comfortable, and making sure that they knew that they were part of a good team culture, that was like a huge part for us. So that meant I had to be more vocal. I would say I'm more of a lead by example person. Yeah. A lot of times I don't want to talk, but this year I think really helped me to be more vocal in my leadership. And that meant spending time with the freshmen off the field, just going out and getting lunch with them, or just getting to know them as people, because I mean, we see each other at soccer every single day, but it's hard to like kind of split that personal versus soccer life. So just spending time with them, and giving them the time of day, make them know that they're welcome and that they're part of a good team, and that they can also help be part of a team that can be great and that can build it throughout the years. So that was
wow.
Yeah, that was huge.
17 freshmen though is crazy.
It's crazy. I've never seen. I think my group was 10, and that was big.
Yeah.
So,
but I mean, like, props like to you for making that like effort, like make sure that like they're all good, they're all kind of like established, all on like the same page. Because I feel like a lot of like captains are like, all right, well, like if you're behind, then like see ya.
Yeah, but, I didn't want to throw an intimidation factor out and be like, you have to be scared of me, or you have to be afraid to come and talk to me. I'd rather make a more welcoming environment for them, for sure.
Yeah, and like I know, like even like with my like past like my past experiences, it's like like it's so important like to build that like team chemistry. Like you don't want to make others scared of each other,
right?
So big props to you for doing that, and obviously we can see why you are a captain. So first off, congrats on your all OAC first team selection. I mean, that's pretty huge.
Yeah.
So what do you think contributed most to your success this season, leading the team in goals and in points?
I think just my drive to just end my career with a bang. I think that was a big thing for me. I, over the past 3 years, have, again, not had a very solidified position, so it was really hard for me from game to game when I'm switching positions constantly to know kind of what I need to do and where I need to be. So this year I was, again, able to really have a set position and know what I needed to do when I got on the field, and that really just helped me, have the drive of get to the goal and score, and that hasn't always been my job. I'm not always a goal scorer. I'm usually I'm usually the passer of the balls to somebody that's going to score. So it was new, but once I think I just got the momentum started, I started really, just going hard, and I didn't let up. So it was really nice to have that momentum going through the season.
Wow. And then plus too, I mean, I'm sure you had great teammates that were super, supportive and
super supportive,
really like wanted you to win.
Yeah, always. Family's always there. Teammates are always cheering. That's another thing. We have a huge roster. We have about 40 girls. So
wow, 40.
Yeah.
Is that like normal?
I'd say around 30 to 40 for a lot of teams.
Okay.
But again, a lot of people know that they're not going to play, and that's unfortunate. You come onto a college team and you want to play, and a lot of times some people don't see the field, but it's so encouraging to see people still have a positive mindset and still cheer you on, even though they they can't do something that they love. So
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, no, with D3, I mean, you're definitely playing the sport for the love.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So what does a typical week look like for you during the season in terms of training, classes, and like personal time? I mean, I'm sure it's a pretty tough
Pretty
balance.
tough. Yeah. A lot of my classes this semester, which luckily have been more in the morning. So get my stuff done before around 12, and then practice was usually from around 6 to 8 during the week, and then we would have games Wednesday and Saturday. This season we had Saturday games at 1 instead of a 7 p.m. game, so we got those done pretty early in the weekends. So we had more. I would say we had more rest time, which was nice between the rest of the day, Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
You got to really take advantage of that rest time. Just sleep as much as possible. And then also Mondays we have 6 a.m. practices for the week.
Wow.
So we start the week nice and strong.
Yeah.
And then I would go right to class, and then usually a lot of PT during the day too. I'll go to the AT room whenever I was free during the day. 6 days a week, and then Sunday off. So very busy, very busy.
But I mean that like Monday is like kind of nice that you practice at 6.
Yeah, it's nice to just get it over with. Yeah, and just sleep for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Right.
No, honestly.
Yeah.
So before your games, do you have any pregame like rituals or superstitions or any like songs that like I like always ask all my interviewees this question. This is kind of like my main question.
I used to always, so for all 4 years of high school and through college until this year, I always had to braid my own hair. That was what I did. And I did the same hairstyle every time. Like had to, or I was going to have a bad game.
Yeah.
And then this year I was like, you know what, screw it. If I'm having a good game, it's because of me. It's not because of how I did my hair. So I realized that was a big time. It took a lot of time out of my day during game days. So I said, you know what, I'll just switch it up. I'll do whatever I have time for, and that's going to be that. So that's something I did change, but have always been superstitious about. And then I'm more of like, I need to be quiet. I need to be composed. I don't want to, like, I'll blast music, but in my own headphones. I don't really want to, like, dance around before a game. I kind of just, don't talk to me. Don't. Yeah, I'm more of like, I just need to get in the zone. So usually headphones on, just listen to whatever. Sometimes it's straight rap. Other times it's more calming music. Yeah. It just really depends on the mood of the day. But, yeah.
Any like Spanish music for the Spanish major?
Always Spanish music. Always a little bit of Spanish. Yeah. No, those songs are so good.
So good. So good. But like what like I've noticed is that like a lot of people, prefer like that like calmness like before the game. Yeah. I mean, can you really like see like a big change like staying calm before a game?
I think so.
Compared to like dancing or like getting all amped up?
I think so. It helps you stay focused, and also I'm a big believer in visualizing how you're about to perform, and I think it really starts with a good warm-up, and getting in that mindset before you even get on the field, I think is huge, and kind of just going through your head imagining, I'm going to score a goal today, or I'm going to do this, and it just really helps you kind of set those things into reality when you get out there.
Wow. Yeah. Awesome. I think 2 podcasts ago, I had my former coach on, Coach Nick from US, and we kind of talked about like the meditation, like the calmness, like before games, and that's truly something that's like special. It is.
It really is.
So you're in the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, and so what role has faith played throughout your journey on and off the field?
It's been truly amazing, especially this year. We have, with our 17 freshmen, we have a lot of girls that do have a huge religious part of their lives. So this is the only year we've ever done it, but we started praying before games. We started doing a prayer circle. Started with about 5 girls and led up to, I think, over 10 people towards the end of the season. People just, even if they didn't really believe that much in God, they just kind of got in and said a prayer before the game, not to win, but to, pray for our safety, pray for good performance. So a lot of times there's a lot of things that are out of your hands. So just pray for a safe game, safe trip there and back. And that was just like a small thing that we'd like to do before we even warm up. That was just something we did before we got out there. And I think, and then those girls also kind of led us to going to FCA together and having those discussions together. And there's a huge group of kids. There's near 100 people that go across all the different sports. And it's student-led, so I think a lot of the track athletes will lead it. A lot of the discussions, they pick the verses, and then what we're talking about, but they relate not only to athletics but to daily life. So I know we did talk just about patience and how breathing can be a big part of prayer, but also a big part of how you perform in your sport. It can help you can help calm you down and all that. And I know a lot of people went out there, and that was a big motivation for them, is knowing that God was on their side. So that was a big part.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's almost kind of like a big Bible study.
It is almost,
like,
it is. And we also do, I know a couple of weeks ago, we went to one of the chapels on campus with Ashland came, some of the students from Ashland came who actually they had a piano player, guitarist, and a singer, and they came and we just like sang in the church. And that was really cool. It was so cool to get that big group together, and they just played and we sang. And it was just a really cool get together with not just our school but other schools.
Yeah, and I mean, plus that definitely builds that bond between you and your teammates. That's something that's truly special. Mm-hmm. So have you seen like other players come and pray with you, or is it mostly just most of your team before a game?
Before a game, it's mostly just our players on our team. I know there were some teams we played in preseason who do have a more religious basis. So after games, we would pray as a whole with them, and they would kind of initiate that. I think we did that maybe 2 or 3 times. But even again, the people that may not do that often, they still went and they still prayed, and I think they gave respect to that, and I think that was really nice.
Wow, and what's so cool about it is that a lot of people leave faith out of sports, which
mm-hmm.
people have their own opinions, own beliefs. But I mean, mm-hmm. it's so cool when you see professional athletes and people shine light on it, because it's something that's very important to them, and can also impact a lot of people out there that aren't in that professional setting but are playing the sport that they love.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think it just really helps with gratitude too. I have the opportunity to be out there playing, and I'm healthy, I'm able. It just kind of helps you show up every day and be that I'm so grateful to be here. So I think that's a big part of it as well.
Yeah, and also too, if you think about it, not many people are in that position that you're in, or mm-hmm. Have the resources that you have. So mm-hmm. it just kind of just gives you thanks, and in that moment almost kind of builds that extra fuel why I'm doing this. Yeah, gives you a lot of purpose. Purpose has kind of been
purpose is huge. Yeah.
Purpose has been my main word for this year. If I had to describe a word, it's purpose. Just make just you have purpose, and keep on moving forward. Mm-hmm. So as your collegiate career comes to an end, what overall do you feel most proud of?
I'm just proud of the girls that I am going to be graduating with this spring. We started with, I think, maybe 10 or 11, and there's only about 5 of us left. So, and another thing with D3, you do need through people that, you have to really love it to be there. So a lot of times if people aren't getting playing time, or if they have injuries, a lot of times they will step away from it. But the group of girls that we've been together with for all these 4 years, I just really give them praise for showing up every day and every year and just giving it their all. And I'm really grateful to know them and to be able to play with them and see them every day. So I would say that's probably my biggest takeaway.
Wow, beautiful.
Yeah.
So the last thing before we end this episode, so I always end off each episode. It's called Quote of the Episode. It's a little segment.
Okay.
So I usually pick a quote from a professional athlete, coach, anyone that has a famous quote.
Okay.
So you'll tell me what this quote means to you, and then you'll also talk about a quote that you live by every day.
Okay. That's a lot.
All right, so this quote is from Alex Morgan.
Okay.
And winning and losing isn't everything. Sometimes the journey is just as important as the outcome.
Yeah, it is. I think that's huge. And I think that really sums up my senior year and my entire career. It was really sad to see, we didn't make tournament this year, and we had to end early, which is the first time that's happened since I've been there. But I'm so grateful for the things I've learned along the way. Even though it was kind of a bittersweet end, I know that I went and showed up every day, and I gave what I could, and that's something I can leave with and know that I'm proud of myself for that. And not only learning to be a better player, but to be a better person across those 4 years.
Wow. Hey, that is a great on-the-spot response. That is 10 out of 10. So overall, what quote do you live by every day?
Oh gosh, I don't have a specific one. Oh, really put me on the spot here.
Yeah, I know.
Oh God. I don't have a specific quote, but I will say lacrosse, especially through FCA, we do go through a lot of reflective moments, and we talk about attitude being a big determiner of how things can go, especially if you're having a tough day or a tough match, tough practice. Your attitude really determines how that can go. If you have a bad attitude, it's going to go bad. It's just going to keep spiraling downhill. And waking up every morning with the attitude of, hey, this is another morning. I'm grateful to be alive. I'm grateful to have the opportunity to go to school and to be part of a great team and play the sport that I love. I think that's such a huge thing and something that we've talked about a lot on a personal and also athletic level. And I think that's something that I think a lot of people can control. It's a controllable thing. You can't control how other people act. You can't control the things a lot of times in your environment, but you can control your own attitude. And I think that's a huge thing that people can take with them into the future.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's so important. I mean, you were 100% spot on. I mean, just the way that you hold yourself and you can make, if you're having a bad day, as long as you're positive, you can make someone else's day 100 times better. And even, just saying hi to other people, just like going out of your own way and, just like doing like small things like that, it can really leave an impact on like someone out there.
Absolutely.
So that's why it's always important to stay positive.
Always.
For sure. Well, that'll do it for this podcast episode number 10. We've had a lot of interviewees. It's truly been awesome. I'll definitely keep the episodes rolling. We should have some good ones in the next few weeks. But big thank you to Ella again. Came a long way to could be here for this podcast. So big shout out to her. And I'm very thankful that you joined the podcast today.
Yeah, I'm thankful to be here.
So that'll do it. But make sure you like, subscribe. Make sure you also share FTLC Podcast on Instagram. And we have the links. It's now on Apple Music too, so you can listen to it on there. And we'll see you later. But Ella, thank you again.
Thank you.
And we'll see you. Peace.